6 seconds. Now you got to do something. Service from 15 feet away.
Welcome to Time Out with Chad Bell. Each show will find and interview the best of the best. Often in sports, people only hear about the stories of perfection and believe that there is a formula to becoming successful. The stories you'll hear here are just as great, realistic, and more importantly, attainable. We want to focus on empowering youth, coaches, athletes, and everyday persons to show that they too can overcome obstacles against all odds. This is Time Out with Chad Bell. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back. I'm so excited. To be back on the show. It took a little time, but now we're back with another episode of Time Out. I'm sitting here. I'm just so happy today just to be doing this show at this time of the year. The seasons has changed. Now the spring is here, so now we know that summer is near. The summer is near, and I just love summer, especially being a former basketball player. It's a time to get in the gym, work on your grind, work on your craft, and then play summer league basketball, things of that nature. So I'm just enjoying it. But as we know, with heat, and especially living in Los Angeles, is traffic. So we're dealing with a lot of traffic, but hey, this is why we live in LA, for the weather, for the fun times, the beaches, so on and so forth. So I'm just excited to have you. Thank you, everybody that's been listening and following, watching the show. We appreciate your support. We appreciate you watching. We hope that you continue to watch and continue to share because there's so many stories out there in the sports world. As we know, we have so many people who have overcome so many things and so many obstacles. Some people start from humble beginnings where they're not highlighted. They're not somebody's favorite athlete. They're not somebody's favorite person, but people continue to persevere and continue to work and continue to grow in their skill and continue to grow in life. So with that being said, so excited. We have another awesome guest. I mean, my team, shout out to my team because they keep bringing these awesome guests in the studio to come and do this show. So without further ado, I'm very excited because this is not only a great guest for this show, I'm kind of telling everything, but this is also a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, and I'm very proud to have him in the studio. Time Out. Welcome, Craig Smith.
Thank you very much, Chad. I appreciate you having me on the show. Let's get it, man. I'm excited.
Let's go. So just really quick, I tell people this all the time. Craig Smith, is known, former NBA player, former college basketball All-American, former All-State player in high school. People ask me from time to time, I'm an old head now, really. I'm starting to consider me an old head. Like, we're old heads. Yeah. Like, we're old heads. Now. Yeah. I get called that often, and I struggled at first, but I embrace it. But, people ask me, back in the day, man, who gave you trouble in high school? Who was one of the best guys you played against? And I always tell them, Craig Smith, this cat that went to Fairfax, man. This dude was a undersized, center in high school. Obviously, you developed and grew and changed positions. But I said, man, that man was skilled and he gave me fits. So I just want to tell you, I believe in giving people their flowers. Hey, man, I'm really proud of you and your success and everything you've done, man. It's been awesome to watch.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And that says a lot coming from a former friend and competitor because it wasn't easy out there for us in the inner city of Los Angeles. And, we did a lot of good things to help us reach our potentials individually. And I always want to say thank you to you, too, because it goes, you helped me get better as well. You know what I'm saying? There was stuff that you doing that I seen going forward in collegiate basketball that helped me out and be like, oh, okay, cool. I know that from Chad, so.
No doubt. Yeah, well, welcome to the show, man. I just want to kick things off, man, and just ask you, from the time you were in the NBA to now, what would you do differently now that you necessarily didn't do back then?
Oh man, that's a difficult one because I felt like there was always preparation in my work for me being an underdog, and I felt like maybe in sometimes what I normally did was I wanted to be the first one there and the last one to leave, right? Mm-hmm. So my last impression is maybe I did more of those for myself personally. I don't think it was for a team individual thing or anything, but for me personally, it was like I needed to be there early. I need to be there early. So maybe I'm thinking because of mama mentality, like I should have been there earlier.
No doubt, no doubt. Being early, and kids out there listening, when whatever sports you're playing, being early is huge. It shows, and you correct me if I'm wrong, it shows your dedication to your sport, to your craft. So that being there early is not just a physical thing, but also a mental thing, I would say. Would you agree with that?
I definitely think it's a mental thing because for me, what really originated, what started this for me was back in high school, and it was just like, I tell this story like it was yesterday. My mom asked me to get her up, help walk her to the bus stop. It's like 5:30 a.m. So my freshman year at Fairfax, right? So I'm walking, but the whole time, I feel fire in my stomach. I'm getting mad. You know what I'm saying? Well, I got to walk my mom to the bus stop. My mom is a very nice lady. Yeah. Like, she works very hard for her siblings. So from that day forward, I made it to myself. I got to be at Fairfax at 6:30 every morning.
Woo. Woo.
And for me, that's what the real change was, because it was like I'm in a full-on sweat, and Harvey Katani, our high school coach, is driving up. Even with Tommy Johnson. Tommy will tell you this story. He's driving up. You'll see me in a full-on sweat. And this is before our practice and the track session.
Wow. That kind of determination and dedication, that's impressive. I mean, it says a lot about the kind of player you were and the kind of player you became and how you grew. One of the things I wanted to ask you, Craig, what's the best advice you ever been given that you can share with our listeners out there?
Man, the best advice is believing in yourself. I'm really a firm believer of believing in yourself and being in the moment, because if you can believe in yourself and believe in the moment, anything is possible. And not only that, it goes from an example of me. I played basketball. I believed in my talent. I believed I was good. I believed I was going to the Division I college. Once I start believing, I start working towards it, right? I start practicing more. I start getting out there more. Now I have people coming in telling me, you look good, you're doing good, which is affirmation for me to let me know I'm doing the right thing. Let's keep this going. Let me stay in my lane. And by being in that moment, I know, and it's a knowing thing. When you hear those affirmations, like, all right, I'm running a race, but I'm running this race by myself. I can't compare myself to anybody else. I have to run this race by myself, because every time there's in a comparison of something, it's a lose-lose situation.
Right.
So I have to run my own race. I have to stay locked in. I have to stay focused and believe. As long as that happens, everything takes care of itself.
That's awesome, man. Now, did you have somebody in particular that kind of instilled that in you? Because sometimes you mentioned Harvey Katani, your high school coach. Sometimes it might be our mothers, our father, sister, brother, or it might be that one teammate that saw something in you. Did you have somebody in particular that kind of, gave you that kind of inspiration or advice?
So, well, that's a good question. But most importantly, I feel like it was my mother first. My mother every time. You good, you're going to be good, you can do anything you want to. She instilled that into me early. And then not only that, it was just, we come from the inner city. I got to be able to move from Compton to the West LA. So I got to see something different. And she allowed that for me. So it was like watching her be a leader without talking, and when she's talking these affirmations to me. Then when I go to the court, I see a janitor by the name of Big Mike, OG gangbanger, but he's letting me know what I'm doing and I need to keep doing it. And then comes on, obviously you got Harvey to teach me the fundamentals and teach me how I need to have a routine and really work hard, because I'm just going to have to work harder than everybody. That was just the thing.
Yeah, that's huge out there, because I always say, especially older people, we have a responsibility with the younger generation. We are the people that can put those thoughts and those words together that inspire them to keep going, just to be that insurance, just knowing, hey, young man, young lady, you are doing the right thing. And it's just a blessing that you had those people in your life, and they seen the kind of work that you were putting in, and obviously it paid off. Let's talk about it. Was there a particular childhood memory or a specific moment that just made you want to pursue basketball?
Yeah, man. When I was 8 years old, this is what really took it to the next level. My brother was shot in the head. My brother was shot in the head. That night, I remember waking up, everything's crazy, and in my mind as a kid, I'm thinking he's dead. He actually got to survive, but it was just a traumatic series that I went through with my mom and my sisters that instilled me to just do better, do the right things, and just inspire from doing something great. I just wanted to be known for something great. There's always been gang banging and gangsterdom in our family. As we know, we live in Los Angeles. It takes control over most things that we grew up and had no control over it. So for me, just seeing this situation propelled me just to be the most positive person I can be, because it's like I was born in a war.
Wow, that's crazy that you say that, because we come from the same place. So those who are not from where we're from or grew up how we grew up, they might not understand that. Like growing up in Los Angeles, especially during that day and time, being born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s, experienced the early 2000s, it was crazy in terms of gangs. So you, like many other athletes, you had a choice to make. What made you say, I'm not going to go here gangbanging, I'm going to go here, I'm going to pursue this basketball, be an athlete?
Well, I think it was that example of my brother. Me seeing examples of like my cousins, my dad, my my nephews, my other cousins, like seeing all this and seeing what comes out of it. I just thought that I would be more swaggy, hooping, because this is what's going to give me longevity. This is what is going to inspire our culture and our youth that's been poisoned for many years. How can I do something to differentiate myself along with others that I see working just as hard as me? How can we change the game? So I think it was just that, watching and observing early on in my life and seeing that negativity and like, nah, I'm cool. I'd rather get over here, hoop, chill out with some beautiful women, you know what I'm saying? Enjoy traveling and seeing the world, because I think that's what it's about. It's not about this war concept. It's about living, seeing it, and being in the moment with your journey. Like, the journey is the most important thing, dude. And people overskip that sometimes because we're in a new world of instant gratification with social media. But sometimes it's just like, we got to calm down, take a look, and be in the moment.
Absolutely. One question I wanted to ask you is, like, obviously I know more of your story, and we'll save that for your book when you write your book one day. How did you navigate and make that transition from college to pro? Obviously, you went to Boston College, played there, did really well, grew your game, became an All-American in college, and then you go from that being one of the best in college basketball, now you're in the league. You get drafted in the second round. How did you make that transition? How did you navigate?
So, yeah, those are very good questions. I think just by me having 4 years experience and then having a coach like Al Skinner, who's a former player himself, for me, I mean, I've always felt that since high school that I was capable, but I knew I needed to get better mentally. And these 4 and 5 years, actually, because I went to prep, shout out Worcester Academy. I went to Worcester Academy for a year. It changed my life. I felt like Fresh Prince. Like, I had the backwards jacket on, in the prep school. Like, I'm from the opposite coast, But it propelled me to focus in and to really understand. And then having Al Skinner, and this is an example, I just talked about this. Bring me in the office and be like, you're a good rebounder, but I want to show you all the best rebounders in the game. And I'm looking at the list like, dang, Dennis Rodman got rebound like every 47 seconds. You know this, you know what I'm saying? It's a list of rebounders, and I'm reading this like junior year. So in my mind, it's like, oh, if I can take and compartmentalize all this different stuff and then utilize it to part of my game, like I can be an ultimate pro out here.
Mm-hmm.
So that I started doing that junior and senior year, and that's when things really start propelling. I'm getting in the best shape of my life, and then I get into the league, and I'm like, oh, they put me in here. I was never supposed to be here. And now that I'm here, you are going to know I'm here forever. I'm going to put my stamp. Because I wasn't supposed to. It was so many people telling me, you can't do this. You can't do that, Craig. Craig, you can't do this. The league? You ain't even going to play Division I.
Wow. Wow.
And all that, I turned into fire, put it in my stomach like some wood in a furnace, right? And eat it up. And every time I'm in the gym, I think of that. It's just like, remember Last Dragon?
Yeah.
Where Leroy hitting the bag, and all he could hear is coward, right?
Yeah.
Well, from his little brother, right? His little brother come, but he's like in there, he's working. Like, that's how I was working. But everybody was telling me that in high school, that's how I was working. I wouldn't get mad. I'll put that energy there.
Right. I like what you said and what you did. You basically took negative speech, negative talk, Craig, you can't, and you turned it into positive, and that fueled you. That fueled you.
I just wanted to say, watch. Like, I can't do this? All right, watch this. Oh, you can't do this? Oh, my God. All right, watch this. You tripping. Watch this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was like the story of my life. And what was cool for me was when I went to Boston, I ran into a guy named Tom Brady, who was the last pick of the draft.
I heard of him.
Guy who motivated me my whole, like, for real. And this is why I always feel like one day I got to go to Tom Brady and tell him, like, I felt like I always was an underdog, but to see you and how you did it just motivated me to another level.
Wow. Craig, that's so dope. And that brings me to my next question, mentorship. Because obviously you run into Tom Brady, best NFL player ever. You can make that argument if you want, but he's the best. When you got to the league, did you have any mentors? Because I know for the kids out there, the listeners out there, a lot of times you get to the NBA and you have a vet.
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying that could have been the person, but did you have any mentors when you got there that said, hey, young fella, let me show you how to be a pro. Let me show you how to dress. Let me show you how to work. Let me show you how to talk. Let me show you how to think so you can have longevity in this thing.
Yeah. For me, it was Kevin Garnett, but they got to take him away from me after a year. But I got to soak up all that information for 1 year because everywhere else, it was youngins. I was part of the youngin circle, and I was trying to get out of there because I'm like, I'm a vet. I need to be on a good team with good people so we can go to the playoffs. But, like, KG did a lot. Taught me how I need to act, what I need to do, this and that. Then we work out after practice, which was so cool, too, because it's like he going to show me 3 or 4 moves to do after practice and make sure I'm doing them after practice and before practice. So having guys like that, having a Ricky Davis, which was a really good mentor to me too, and got to shout out Seth Sabalas. Seth Sabalas was one of the ultimate ones, especially when I used to like get into a confrontation with like my coaches. He would be the one to call me and be like, "Dude, what are you on?" You know, like just to really check me. So I mean, I was thankful I had a lot of people, and then like I had certain examples too from of guys like other guys like Keith Kloss as well. Like big teachers. I know people don't think they're like, or him don't think hey, he's a good guy but to me he's a great guy because he showed me a lot, what to do and what not to do.
Right. So elaborate on that. Tell me what was the biggest thing you were told not to do, and then what was the biggest thing you were told to do?
Well, the funny one is what not to do was we were trying to go to the club with him one night while he was going out. He was like, nah, you can't come. And that night is the night he got in the fight.
Oh, wow. Yeah, to the listeners at home, you probably don't want to be out in late hours. That's a whole different
Especially
element.
by yourself. But, I mean, like, that was a learning situation for me because it's like, oh, I'm in the league now. Man, I'm definitely not going to be posted outside. I'm either going to be in the club or I'm leaving early. That became my process just based on these examples I'm giving from the OGs.
Yeah, that's so important because when you're away from, obviously you can't spend. Some people say, "Oh, I'm in the gym all day. I'm sleeping in the gym. I'm sleeping on the field. I'm doing this and I'm doing that." That's not a reality. Like you have to manage your hours away from the sport.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're away from the sport and your craft, you got to be responsible. So I like the story you told. Like we all want to have fun, we all want to do things, but it's important to make wise decisions.
Yeah, and sacrifices are important too in this game of basketball. Sometimes you gotta make a real sacrifice. And
Yes, yes, absolutely. Was there any team or player that you just said, "Damn, this dude, woo, okay, yeah, I need to step my game up." This dude, not that you were intimidated, but it got your attention when you played in the NBA.
Like it was my first year. Had to be playing against Antonio McDyess, and I didn't really know how strong Antonio McDyess was because I thought I was strong. And I was like, yo, this dude's like country strong. This is different. Hold on. Like, let me go here and do some curls at halftime. But that was the first dude. It was Antonio McDyess, and then it was a dude by the name of Mark Jackson. He's like a pit bull. Shout out Mark Jackson. Like, I loved his attitude and his nature. He just kept going every time, and I was like, yo, I have to be mentally prepared for these guys. Like, this is not just me and getting to be able to bang because everybody know me as a banger. Like, I got to wrestle with these guys, like, literally.
How did you once you experienced that and you said, okay, I got a battle with these guys? How did you help yourself to improve so the next time you faced them that you had the kind of success you want to have?
I gotta go all out. I can't let them beat me. I don't give I gotta go at his head.
Right.
I respect him, but I gotta go at him. This my life. This what I do. This how I eat. I ain't scared of no man, but at the same time, I'm gonna hit his ass too.
Mentality.
Hit first.
Mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah, that mentality is huge. Like everybody talks about, Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, one of the greatest players ever. That Mamba mentality. I think that's part of it. How you approach it.
It definitely is. And like I'll even bring you like a quick story with like me and Kobe. Like I'm coming up to Curlin' Joe. I got like a 7:30 appointment. I'm doing something for my knee, like meniscus, and I'm walking downstairs. I get there early too. It's like 6:56. Kobe walking out.
A.M.
Yeah, 6:56. Kobe walking out towards me. Give me a big hug. He already knows it's me. He's from Fairfax. You know what I'm saying? So I'm overly enjoying the fact he even knows that. Okay, because I'm not even supposed to be here in this situation. But now that we here, Kobe, now you got me thinking different. I got to go back to my old ways. You in here at 6:56 and you think I'm not going to mentally take a mental note picture of that. Yeah, I am. Now I got to get my ass back in the gym.
That's so inspiring. That's very, very inspiring. And speaking of strength, you mentioned strength, the Antonio Davis of the world and yourself. Let's talk about your nickname, the Rhino. How did that come about? How did you get that nickname?
Due to the great Kevin McHale.
Shout out to Kevin McHale.
Shout out Kevin McHale. He drafted me. It's been a blessing to have this nickname for over, I would say 16 years. But Kevin McHale, and it was one day because I think I was late, or I think KG was mad at us about the donuts because we were getting the donuts delivered rookie duty, right? And somebody snitched on us, so he called us out. And I think I had to practice in my tights in the jersey. So I'm mad. I'm running everybody over. I'm trucking everybody. And Mikhail, everybody who doesn't know Mikhail, like sometimes when he's animated, he can sound like Macho Man Randy Savage. So he's over there like, oh, brother, you're just out there tearing them up, brother. Oh, yeah. Get him, Rhino. And then he came Rhino, and then it was crazy because I was like, I'm a kid from inner city LA, and it's the first time I'm ever seeing myself on a billboard with me looking at a rhino. And I was like, yo, this is like one of the hardest things I've ever seen. And then like I felt like we played Miami and Shaq was on there, and Shaq was like, yo, you need to change your name to Black Rhino.
That's hilarious.
Well, yeah, as you can see in this picture that I know you're gonna show, he's looking like he's trying to take my head off, but I get out the way. But what was cool to know, Shaq was actually teaching me, like, due to my lower center of gravity being at my size, I was able to be like immovable versus all the bigs, and like he was kind of telling me that, and then that's what I would start knowing when coaches were telling me, the league's scared of you, the league's scared of you, and I'm like, what? The league's scared of me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like it was true. Like officials didn't know how to officiate me at first. They had to learn, and they were even telling me. They would tell me even through it sometimes, yo, we had a meeting about you, like, because of how you play and your style. So it's just like, all right, let me try to put this all together so it all makes sense now. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, just having Shaq and his words of wisdom, like that's what was cool about the league. Even though you playing against like your competitor, y'all brothers at the end of the day, and you gonna always look out for each other.
Yes. Well, this day just keeps getting better and better. I got Craig Smith in the building, a.k.a. the Black Rhino, Shaq voice. I got my friend here, Deshaun Curtis, stopped in on it. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Chad. How's it going, Rhino?
What up, man?
Hey, welcome, man. How you doing?
Yeah.
You enjoying your day?
I'm enjoying my day, man. Just handling this traffic. Yeah, here in L.A., and just glad to be here with you guys and have a little conversation about basketball and life.
Absolutely. Tell the people really quick what you do and how you do it and so on and so forth.
Okay. Well, as of right now, I'm in real estate, but we actually met through basketball. So I own a training company, Improve Your Game, and I've been developing athletes, specifically elite level basketball for the past 22 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad to have you on the show. You bringing your expertise today on the episode. Like I said, we got Craig Smith here. Hey, this is a party on a Friday. Early party Friday.
It's a party.
Let's get it. So, hey, back to you, Craig. Let's talk a little bit about what was your physical and mental approach playing in the NBA. You talked about mentality and stuff like that. Can you dig a little deeper into that for us?
Well, like I knew since like after my freshman year, like my physicalness would be no problem. I think it was just morally the mental preparation. But what was crazy was when I got in there, being that I've had a good coach in L. Skinner, I kind of already knew things. And what was cool was they already put me in my type of situations. So say when I came in the game, we're already running flex like offense, and they're going to put me in the situation to be that point forward to hold the ball. So I'm making the play off that, or I have an ISO player already because they know I can score, but they also know I can be a playmaker as well. So for me, it was just being able to read things. And not only that, too, I will say there was a difference between the shot clock, okay? 24 seconds and 35 seconds that you think is just 11 seconds, but no, it's two totally different type of games. And in the NBA game, it's more sped up. So in that sense, because you have less time, you got to be in better shape. And you can't be lagging because this is up and back. It's up and down. So in that situation, that's what I really had to prepare for. Like the shot clock was the main thing, and then defensively rotating. You have to rotate like lightning at times.
So, Craig, specifically, what methods changed for you when you were making that transition from college to the NBA? I heard you talk about the shot clock and the speed of the game, but what did you do to prepare yourself for that change?
Well, I also had to change my footwork too. I had to speed my footwork a little bit up. So, like, say you're doing a windshield wash drill, right? Mm-hmm. My windshield wash, I got to negate my legs longer now. I can't shorten them up because I have to shorten my time up because the defense is that good. You get what I'm saying? Because so by me coming, I have to make a long 1-2 and a quick long 1-2. Versus college, it might be 1-2-3 into that jump shot, right? If I'm curling from the baseline to the elbow, right? But in the NBA, it's got to be 2. 1-2. I got to get there fast, right? Just like on the layup when you see the new layups. If I take a dribble and I take 3 steps, somebody going to block my shot. But if I take 2 steps, I got a good chance to dunk on somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was the game for me. I need to shorten up and negate, lengthen, and speed up my time on moves. If I need to dunk on somebody or my move in general. My back to the basket, it didn't need to change because I felt like still there's nobody who can really guard me because I can create separation for myself. That was one thing I always knew about separation. But I think it was, for me, the movement to get into the basket or to get in stops defensively. That was it for me.
More efficient.
Yes.
So, like, seeing the movement you're talking about and the footwork you're talking about, what brought it to life for you? What was it? Film? Was it trainers or coaches working with you?
John Lucas.
Shout out to John
Hey,
Lucas.
Hoss, we gonna get you on that track, Hoss. We gonna get you running, Hoss. We gonna start you off backpedaling, all right? 3 back pedals and then 3 forward runs.
That sounds like John
We gonna
Lucas.
get that tummy off you.
Old school. Shout out to Coach John Lucas, Houston Rockets, King of Houston, King of Texas.
Yep.
Really good brother.
Really
so
good
it's good that you were able to see those things and work with a coach that can bring those things out. So how can the listeners, younger people, tap into those things, with not as many resources?
Yeah, I would say because it's this, like, it's funny when you say no resources because it goes, well, that's how I feel like I made it because I didn't have a trainer in high school. I didn't have a trainer in college. I just learned, utilized, and took from the coaches and then worked out and played myself. And that is what you can do today, young generation. I know everybody's a trainer and all this stuff, and I get all that, but, like, where are you going to strengthen your mental? Because at the end of the day, you're the one who has to do it. So it goes, well, if I want to get better at something, if I want to get better at my jump shot, what I need to do? I need to get in the gym. First of all, I need to shoot inside closer, then separate outside. Everybody wants to come in and shoot a 3 automatically. That's not how you warm up. That is not the proper warm-up. You need to see the ball go in the hole, and then you need to develop from there. But my thing at the end of the day is, just because you don't have a trainer don't mean you can't go to the league. I'm a testament of it.
Wow. That's so true, because like Craig is saying, we're so caught up into my trainer or I need this and I need that. No, you need what you have. You have a basketball, you have a court, you have the things that Craig is talking about, work ethic, mentality. That's everything you need. Now, if you're blessed and fortunate enough to be able to afford or have those things, great. Yeah. But that's not the tell-all, end-all, be-all. Yeah, so it's very important that you mention those things, just how you came up.
No, absolutely. It's that. And then, like, you got to have a good friend, too. My good friend was Bear. I had a friend named Joshua Blunt. He was a professional over in France, but we got it in a lot, running the beach, and that's what was crazy. Like, for us, like, California is different.
Yeah,
we
man.
don't have to have certain trainers to go in the gym. We have outdoor stuff that can even make us better.
Yeah, man.
That's what they don't understand. We got the beach. That's like Apollo Creed at its finest. Shout out Al Birdsong, R.I.P.
R.I.P. Al Birdsong, the legend, L.A. legend.
So, Craig, tell us, what are you currently working on?
Oh, man. So I do ambassador work with the Clippers. I work with a nonprofit that's trying to end poverty in America. It's called Suchi. Writing a Rhino book. I'm trying to finish that out so it can come out soon. I also have an anime. These are all based on my character, the Rhino, too. So it's really cool in that department. Jeez, what else am I doing? There's some other cool things too that I'm just dibbling and dabbling in. Like I have a podcast too. It's called The Underdogs. It's with myself and Mike Taylor, who's a former Clipper as well.
Oh, that's my guy right there from Milwaukee.
Yeah,
Mike Taylor.
yeah. So yeah, I'm doing a lot, man. I'm doing a lot, but mostly that I'm proud of is really inspiring the young generation because I do want them to see me. Versus what I used to see growing up, which would be the gangbanger with a lot of money or the drug dealer with a lot of money. I'm telling them it's cool to be smart, and it's cool to be very knowledgeable, and it's cool to go get money that ain't got to do with stealing and robbing people.
Absolutely. That is so important. Where can our listeners out there find you, Craig? Like if they want to follow you via social media or any other platform that may be available to them.
Yeah, bro. You can follow me on Instagram at Black Rhino 83, Twitter at Black Rhino. I know I switched my name to Black Rhino. It was C Smeezy. That's why they unfollow me. So I'm just saying that on film just to get the verification people get on their head. But Instagram, Twitter, Black Rhino, Snapchat, Smeeze the Rhino, LinkedIn, Craig Smith, Facebook, Craig Smith, TikTok, Black Rhino.
Well, thank you, brother. We really appreciate you. I believe, Craig, you dropped some jewels for us today on this show.
Oh man, we've been friends for a long time.
Yeah,
dude,
much respect, brother. Much respect. I'm glad I don't have to guard you anymore. I'm glad those days are gone. I miss them, but I'm glad they're over with.
You teaching the new age, you know what I'm saying? You act like I don't know what you've been doing with Zubac. How Zubac hooping out here? Come on now.
Well, you know,
your flowers too, bro.
Hey, yeah. Well, you know, I try. I really believe in staying involved with basketball, even when your playing time is over.
Yeah.
I feel like so many people out there gave to me, so I'm just trying to give back. Just like you're working with the youth, and hey, this is why we're doing this show. You know what I'm saying? So I had to have you on this show because you're an important piece of not just LA basketball, but just basketball in general. There's only 400 and some odd jobs in the NBA, and brother, you did that for 6+ seasons, and kudos to you. And just the stuff that you're teaching and you're instilling, and you're a proven product. You're a proven product that, hey, you don't have to be a McDonald's All-American. You don't have to be a top 100 recruit to get to where you're going. You can get it from the ground up and still make it and work and have that mentality. Just like many of the kids that you worked with, Deshaun, that for our listeners out there, they got it from the very ground.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
for sure, that work ethic and just believing in yourself and having a dream and chasing it, getting up every day, and chasing it, bringing it to fruition.
Chasing ghosts.
Yes, sir.
That's right. That's right. So, hey, this has been fun today. I had an absolutely wonderful time. Got my boy Craig Smith in the building, the Black Rhino. I got Deshaun Curtis in the building, man. It's been a pleasant one. I just want to thank all the listeners out there for listening and watching Time Out with Chad Bell. I would like to thank my crew and everybody out there for all their help with the show. Shout out to our sponsors. Shout out to Handcuff and Handkerchiefs out there. Go get your clothing brand. Go get your clothing from that brand. And also, you can follow me at Coach C. Bell. You can follow Deshaun. Where can we find you at? What's your hashtag? What's your IG handle? I'm sorry.
You can find me at coach.curtis_ on Instagram.
That's all right. That's all right. I appreciate you. Also, hashtag Time Out with Chad Bell. Love you guys. Be blessed. This was Time Out with Chad Bell. Thank you.